Ascension 6 7 6 7 6 7.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The El Pearly Show. Today we are back with more Black Ops 1 smoke spots. I feel like even before I started to do these videos, there was a huge renaissance of Black Ops 1 content, and I'm all here for it. I am a big fan of Black Ops 1. I do literally have a poster for it right behind me. Ignoring that, today we're going to be going back to Ascension. I say going back because this map was my stomping grounds back in the day. I would literally wake up before school just to go grind Ascension on Black Ops 1 zombies. I have a vivid memory of disconnecting on like round 33 and just having to suck that shit up and going to school. I genuinely remember it. I was by the speed cola area. If I would have put that same energy into whatever I was studying, I would probably be like Jeff Bezos by now. Referring to how much money he has, not the shady shit that he does. Getting to the point though, if you guys like my videos, you can support me on Twitch with the link on screen or the text in the description, or you could also buy my shitty Redbubble merch, which I would appreciate. I don't have any sponsors at the moment, so I'm sponsoring myself. You gotta respect the hustle. I feel like I should immediately address the elephant of the room of the Lunar Lander smoke spots in this map. There's gonna be a lot of Lunar Landers in this video. You literally start the map by riding in on a Lunar Lander, which is also kinda gonna be our first smoke spot. This whole map is Lunar Lander City. You fly in on a Lunar Lander, you pack a punch using a Lunar Lander. We are off to a great start with the intro Lunar Lander though. You fly into the level on this thing with all of your homies, smoking that shit that's gonna drain the color out of the world. Given the fact that you even start next to your homies, this would be a great smoke spot to fly in. Although I think it's an absolute non-negotiable that you'd have to smoke a blunt or something with a hard shell wrap, because anything like a joint or even a wood is just gonna have an absolute awful canoeing problem if you try and smoke it on something like this. Any experienced smoker knows that if you try and do something like this, the wind is going to smoke more of your blunt than you're going to get to. Moving on from the first spot on our list, which is going to be the intro Lunar Lander, we're going to move on to the PhD flopper spot. This one is an absolute shoo-in. For one, this is where I always do my zombie trains, so I'm just going to be over here anyways. But also, it's just an amazing spot. There's a great view from the stairs, a great view from the catwalk, a lunar landing pad, and the really cool PhD flopper room where you actually get the perk at. The Soviet mural is pretty cool, but let's not pretend that's what we're here for. I feel like a lot of people never even realize that there's a mural right here. There's also purchasable grenades here, which combined with PhD flopper means you can have a lot of shenanigans over in this area. I can definitely see me and some buddies getting faded in this area of the map and fucking around with the explosives. PhD flopper will prevent you from blowing your fingers off, which I think is very Soviet, because blowing your fingers off every 4th of July is a tried and true American tradition.
Quagmire, check it out. I took 10 M80s and stuck them all together. I call it Peter Griffin's bunker busting mega ultra super...
This is one of my favorite areas of one of my favorite maps, so I do have a lot of memories here, but I'm sure you all don't want to watch me cream myself with nostalgia for too awful long, so we're gonna move on.
We used to play Smash in an abandoned mall!
Okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed. I'm gonna take my cane and walker and mosey on over to the Speed Cola Lunar Landing area. Not only does this area have a really cool color palette and an amazing perk, it's also got a great view if you look over this way. Of course, we've got to point out the box TV as well that's going to show you where the mystery box is. It's not quite as cool as the 5 TVs that'll shuffle through multiple different CCTV angles to show you where the mystery box might be, but it's still a cool little addition. Given how cramped this area is, it's pretty likely that you won't be able to enjoy the view or the CRT with all the zombies coming at you, but there is the Lunar Lander here, so you can always just, play with your back turned to that and then fly away whenever you get cornered.
Hasta la vista, motherfuckers!
On the topic of box TVs, I've always loved this little area between the Power and Speed Cola. It's a nice little in-between area, and it's got these mad scientist vibes to it, complete with the spraying electricity from the breaker box over there. This little hole is great to dive through if you're getting put in a pickle, and same with this catwalk over here, both great PhD flopper spots. I find myself running through this room pretty frequently whenever I'm running trains through the Power room, or just in general, because I normally don't open this one door until pretty later on unless I have to. But hey, it's also my video, so I can put in whatever I want. Make your own if you disagree. Honestly, I think any mystery box location in Ascension is worth a mention. I mean, even the one in Spawn is pretty cool. Any location with one of these indestructible CRTs is honestly just worth a mention. These things are made out of fucking Agarthan rare earth metals or some shit. The breaker room, which is what I'm calling this, is on the list by virtue of being a way better smoke spot than the Power room. Even though the Power room is a very cool spot, and I do like how it looks, it's just so cramped, and I get fucking jumped every single time I go in the Power room. So I don't think I can include it on this list. The Power room is really cool though. Maybe if it wasn't open roofed, I'd put it on the list because you'd be able to hotbox it. On the topic of hotboxing, I do normally like to include at least one obligatory hotbox spot in these videos because I think it's funny, but I couldn't really find anywhere on Ascension to hotbox. Let me know in the comments if you guys can think of any hotbox spots for this map that, you know, aren't like crawling in one of the windows or something, because I honestly I couldn't think of anything. The closest thing I could find to a hotspot is the Juggernog room, and then also maybe the MPL room below if you come in from the Juggernog room and don't open the door and spawn. I guess I can't really complain about the power room being an absolute death trap and then immediately pivot to the MPL room and the Juggernog room, because these are also pretty cramped and they only have one entrance or so. I'm gonna give the MPL room and the Juggernog room the excuse of being cozy, so that's why they're in the video. Plus, I always thought it was really cool that you could see inside of spawn from the Jug room, so that deserves a mention. The MPL room makes me feel like I'm lighting up in a parking garage, which is always fun. You're pretty much never going to get busted for smoking weed in a parking garage unless you get really unlucky. Most of the time a parking cop will just come by and tell you to fuck off, but Paul Blart isn't going to take you to jail. Worst case scenario, smoking in a parking garage will just alert a crackhead to your scent, and he'll start floating towards you like a cartoon character towards a pie on a windowsill. While we're on the topic of places I could legitimately see myself smoking in real life in this map, we're gonna go over towards the Pack-a-Punch area. Both of the last two Call of Duty Zombies video had the Pack-a-Punch rooms as spots on the list, and I would love to include the Pack-a-Punch list on Ascension, just kind of out of obligation, but it really doesn't do a whole lot for me. I mean, the rocket is cool, using the lunar landers to activate the Pack-a-Punch is cool, but the actual room is kind of not that extravagant for a smoke spot, I guess. I mean, seriously, the Pack-a-Punch room is just the Pack-a-Punch room and 2 windows. It feels like those memes where the dude will have an air mattress, a PS4, and a dream. However, my preferred spot in this area would actually be this little shitty mud corner right here with the drop-off right here. I can seriously see myself smoking a blunt here in real life, honestly. Like, I can genuinely see myself walking around a corner downtown and smoking a blunt here, because you're shielded from all prying eyes except for the angle that you're going to be looking at, so it's a very, very good IRL smoke spot. This right here is an optimal spot to smoke weed in public. Coming from a dude who has smoked weed in public way too many times and way too often. I've got to use my white privilege for something, right? But seriously, as someone who has committed substance abuse way too many times, this little cusp area right here would be near perfect to step around the corner from the bar, have a smoke, and then walk back to the drink. Smoking too close to whatever bar you're drinking at will unironically have loser dudes come up to you and basically beg to hit your blunt, and that shit is just embarrassing for both of us at that point. I don't really do countdowns with these videos anymore like I used to, but I do like to loosely order them, and although I do really adore the real-world viability of the previous spot, we're going to be moving on to one that I think is very satisfying in gameplay as well. We are going to close out the list with the Claymore Lunar Lander area. It just looks nice. I think it's a pretty defensible position with the Lunar Lander and all. It's a good place. Not to mention there's Claymores here, which you're going to want to get to deal with the incoming random chimp event every 5 rounds. Really, I think the best spot is the catwalk. I personally would love to smoke a backwood next to this puddle of mud. On the real though, this area is pretty cool. You can't do this in game, but I'd like to imagine you could climb on top of the defunct lunar lander or even get on top of the truck. Honestly, I would love to get up here and show you guys what the view is like, but in order to do that on Black Ops 1, I would either have to jailbreak my PS3 or give Activision $45 for the PC version of a game that's older than half of my audience. So I'm kind of just going to suck it up for now, even though I plan on jailbreaking my PS3 eventually. But that pretty much covers it for the Ascension Smoke Spot video. If there's anything you think I missed, or if you'd like to leave a suggestion on what game I should do next, leave a comment down below. Thank you all for watching, I hope you're staying warm, and see you next time.